welcome the entire community, the living ethics community from Italy, from Città della Pieve. And uh, when a year ago we asked community that if they would be interested to present today, and they talked to each other and they decided that yes, and they delegated Elisabetta Raspini to present on their behalf. And so Elisabetta today with us. Elisabetta now is in Città della Pieve in Italy, and it's a very special place on the planet, I would say. We asked Elisabetta that she just would tell us about the community, and because there's so many things that they can share, and like we definitely don't have enough time for all of that. But whatever come, please tell us, because experience of your community is definitely unique. And as we are now under the sign of Aquarius, and we know that Aquarius is the sign that really invokes the group consciousness and stimulates all of us for group work, the experience of your community is really, really precious for all of us, for the entire Ageless Wisdom community worldwide. So yeah. Please tell us whatever you feel like sharing today.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to say hello to everyone and thank Alexander and the Friends of the 2025 initiative for gathering these meetings every month. A pleasure for me as well to present the community, being a long-time member and feeling totally part of the community. I'd like to start the presentation of the community by sharing the motto. We have an affirmation that has guided our thoughts and our deeds since the start of the community, and which allowed us to establish the clear focus and intent on the subtle levels of our purpose, of our task. And this motto says, the community is neither a place nor a group of people. It is a state of consciousness leading us into the new era. And this has been a sort of premises to all that we have been then discovered to be our group purpose, and that I will start sharing during this presentation. The adhesion to the community, I would say, is characterized by the engagement in the work of building a group consciousness, and inspired by the principles of living ethics. What we try to keep in mind and express is the livingness of the laws and principles and the qualities such as brotherhood, cooperation, participating and bringing this in our everyday living. And what to say, the community started in 1981. It's a non-religious cultural association located near Città della Pieve. Now Alexander is showing you some pictures that can maybe give you a little hint of the place where we are. Città della Pieve is a small medieval hill town in the center of Italy. For those who have been here, it's halfway between Rome and Florence in the land of St. Francis. In fact, St. Assisi is it's 1 hour drive from the community. The community was founded in 1982 by Sergio Bartoli, who was a disciple of Roberta Seggioli, and 11 co-workers. You can see now the picture of Poggio del Fuoco, which is the first building that we have built in the community. This is where the activities started. And as I was saying, at the beginning, the meaning was more of having a place for the study and practice of psychosynthesis. And Sergio himself was a psychiatrist and a psychologist, as well as other co-workers. But the vision developed and expanded immediately, very soon, into a center for creative meditation inspired since the beginning by the study and application of the principles of living ethics, derived from the study of the three main teachings, which are the Agni Yoga, the Ageless Wisdom, the work of Alice Bailey, and in the last few years also by the introduction of the new thought from Presentation of the Wisdom by Lucille Cederkrantz. So this is also another picture of the whole of culture. And, but I would like to start by introducing some key factors who characterize our group effort and initiative before entering into the details of our activity and group life. And so the main focus, as I was saying, it has been since the beginning the growth and development of consciousness, the creation of a group consciousness, and the creation of the conditions for the accomplishment of a group planetary task to be expressed and witnessed in the everyday living and in group formation. But the community also has not a separate center on the planet, but as a point of light connected and within a large network of points of light represented by all individuals and groups focused and working around the world with the same aim to plant the seeds for a new culture based on spiritual values, to embody those seeds through self-improvement, self-striving, really for the establishment of a new world order, for the embodiment of the living ethics in the life of each individual, and especially within a group as a cell of new life. And during the years, we have established many beautiful relationships with many fellow groups around the world, relationships which have grown and developed during time, all around the roots of the teachings. And like if we have been witnessing, you know, each group, the talents, you know, the gifts and the striving that each one was able to bring into the common field. And for similarity of purpose, I just bring some examples of soul-related groups like, you know, the Finland community in Scotland and Auroville in India, with which we have an incredible, beautiful relation, and but also groups like Sandal House in the UK, Meditation Mountain in California, many groups in South America, all engaged really in this planetary service. So the community as a cell of new life, but connected and as an integral part of this wider network of group of people around the world. So going to the motivation and our sense of identity, today we can say that we identify like as a living organism, conscious to be a living organism, and all the life of the community is structured around this image of organs, of systems, where we all try to work synthesizing and trying to experience and experiment in group work our purpose, which is the one of contributing to the establishment of a new world culture and a new civilization. And this is done every day through a group process of trial and error, and we try to refine our attunement to our group soul, and we try to see every day how we can best accomplish our part in the one work to be of service to the planet and humanity. And the intent is really that of creating a cell of new life and to embody this new life into practical form through group experience and through the application of the basics of the laws and principles of what Master DK calls the kingdom of God, which are right human relations, goodwill, group endeavor, unanimity, spiritual approach, and essential divinity. So group action and group leadership, especially after the death of our founder, and service as a key, because we have been for more than 30 years built the community through the effort and the work of volunteer work of all of us, which is one of our characteristics and continues to be our, one of the great gifts that we also think we receive from being part of a group, because we receive a lot while we serve. And but the main effort and challenge as an esoteric group, it has been and it is to bring the esoteric teachings into practical expression, into practical form, into the matter, within the society and through a shared group life. This is really the key of our work. We try to anchor and spread these new models of life in all. And really, the very key of all of this is to embody the theoretical knowledge into the world of forms. And you will see through the presentation that we will show you the many fields in which the activity of the community is expressed, which is through also buildings, but also through the work that we do during the year. Do you have any, Alexander? Hello? Shall I go on?
Yes, Elisabetta, please go on.
Okay. So I would like to now, maybe after this introduction, tell you more about the activities of the community, which have been developed and grown through the creative and practical skills contributed by a large numbers of members and friends who have chosen to participate to this group endeavor. At present, a large proportion of members live locally, but others come from all over Italy and also from other countries. And all of us take part as participants in the schools, but we also take part as collaborators in the community life. And we now count about 140 people who are very committed to the community, who participate fully to the schools, to the programs, to the meditation activities, to the service activities. And out of this, about 60 people reside in the proximity of the community centers, either in the two residential villages that we have, or in the nearby small towns. So this is who we are. The activities during the 20 years are reflected mainly through programs on psycho-spiritual education. We have schools and courses in various fields, such as education, including education for children and teenagers, creative meditation. We have a 3 years and 10-year school on creative meditation, psychosynthesis and psychoenergetics, economics. We have a school of art, because culture is really key also, and beauty are keys in the community work, healing, astrology. So around all the esoteric teachings, we have created the opportunity to offer schools and courses to the participants in our activities. Another branch is are the events that we organize. And maybe you can show some pictures, Alexander. You can scroll down. And so we have spiritual gatherings and also cultural activities. You can see inside the hall of culture, this is the hall where the performance take place. And every year we also have important gatherings like the Day of Culture and the yearly Creative Meditation Gathering. And I don't see the picture, yes. And so what we organize inside the hall are also events, performances. We have live concerts where we invite singers or piano players or violins. We have chorus, ballet. We have exhibitions of paintings, of sculptures, of photographs. And this is done all inside the Hall of Culture. This was one theater performance that we gave on the lives of the Ruriks last year. Now we are bringing this all over Italy in the different centers. So this is another aspect of the community. Another aspect which is very important is the service activity, as I was saying before. And maybe you can go down and show these are some artwork from friends who come. This was a work on the light. And service activity, as I was saying before, since the beginning, all our times and skill have been offered as a service without receiving any remuneration as a form of donation. And so you can see we have the possibility to join groups working in the kitchen or in the garden or working in the offices. Here you see some friends of the community. I wanted to bring some photos because it's not easy to speak about the activity of a group life, over 30 years without showing any pictures. And so I hope you enjoy looking also at this. And we also have the community life, which is very important, what we call the new city of humanity, which includes two beautiful residential villages. One is Sun Valley and the other one is the Granary. And where many of us live and where the community life is experienced. The organization of the life in these villages includes common spaces where to meet, common utilities, and also occasions to work together with children. We bring together, for instance, in the previous pictures, our elderly, which can give their talents and their gifts together with the children. This is just an example of community life. And another important, you also saw the flowers this is the saffron. We harvest the plants, and we have activities connected also with the harvesting and selling of the saffron. And another important activity or task of the community is that of creation of different forms of associations and businesses connected with the community as new models of cooperation and also entrepreneurship, because we try to encourage and to promote and be part of within this association to create new models in different fields. For instance, we have the cultural association which promotes cultural events and travel experiences. You saw something before in the hall. We have the Banner of Peace Association, with 12 branches in city from the north of the south of Italy, for the building of a network of a culture of peace and goodwill. We should have, yes, one flag of the banner of peace. We also have a center for the production and transformation of agricultural products. There is a laboratory for the production and selling of herbal products. An association from the promotion and editing of books, such the books of Agni Yoga in Italian. So these are also the fields of what we are trying to put in place. When we say that we bring into the form, is to create new models, but also to make these models applicable and visible. And so people engage in trying to organize themselves into associations and into entrepreneurship businesses in order to bring these new models into form. There is also a school for naturopathy. So just to mention some of the activities of the community. And we also, you cannot see much from the picture, but a lot of attention and love is given to beauty and the relations with the kingdoms of nature, which is very key for all of us. But in general, all that I've been describing here is really connected with the applications and the laws and principles in whatever we do, trying to create and to match our individual growth with being part of a group that is expressing and wants to bring his gifts into the world. And so this is, I just wanted to outline, you know, the main activities. And but I don't know if there are any questions at this point, or if we want to go on and see also the pictures of the centers of the community. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's one of the features of your community. It's this physical beauty of the space that your community occupies. So probably we can go through the pictures.
Yeah, I just picked up a few pictures of the several buildings that are part of the community. We have 7 centers, and each building carries out a specific activity, and each center is guided by the principle that a synthesis between beauty and simplicity is really conducive to transformation of consciousness. So a lot of care and a lot of love has been put in the creation of these buildings. And each building is devoted to a specific function and activity. But nobody lives there. Just the teaching activities are brought forward, you know, in these places. And so, for instance, this is Poggio del Fuoco. There was the study center for the esoteric psychology. And then we have, I don't know if you want to go, we have San Michele, which is a center for study of psychoenergy and psychosynthesis. And then what do you have next? Yeah, this is another picture of San Michele, the same place. And next, yeah, this is Igeia, which is a center for healing of the subtle body. And so specific seminars and courses are given there. And if you can go on, the Hall of Culture you saw before, and also this is the Institute of the Heart, the seat of the House of the Soul, and the Center for the Research and Experimentation on Psychic Energy. And next, yeah, and this is Urusvati, the Center for a New Education. It's the seat for the Urusvati School, that hosts courses for educators and young people, and especially in the summertime where we have summer camps for children and youngsters. It's a beautiful place. Yeah. And next you should see, yeah, and this is the picture of some children with educators, you know, in the summer out of Urusvati. And so, just to resume, the commitment and task today for us, if we look at the community today, as we said before, not being neither a place nor a group of people, is really to be a living experiment, a living experience of women and men of goodwill, working as a united group consciousness and united in the group consciousness toward a common goal. And what the aim, as I was saying, is to contribute to the creation of a new era, and to give birth to a new civilization as an expression of goodwill in action, of right relation, being the common purpose, the magnet around which everything has been established in the community. All of us willing to joyfully participate to a spiritual and soul-guided adventure of pioneering. As today we are in Aquarius and witnessing a new way of living, responding mainly to the inner call of our soul. We always ask ourselves, you know, what is our deepest motivation to be here, to be together, in service to a higher plan, you know, to the planet, to our fellow men. And the clear commitment, I would say, is from all of us to offer ourselves, you know, to be channels of the models of what we would like to see in the future. And the commitment to realize them, you know, through study, meditation, and service, which are the very practical tools that we try to use. And we do this, as I was saying, you know, the community is not perfect, and by trial and error, we go all the time, individually and as a group of groups. And so, as you may imagine, this has been, and it is not easy sometimes, but even though the goal is very clear, and so even though we have to deal with our personalities sometimes, with our individual and peculiar achievements, you know, as family, profession, or our different fields of interest in life, we try to create a synergy between our individual and group life all the time by assuming the task and the responsibility at all levels. With trying to build no separation between our spiritual tension and the very practical life. This is what we try always to keep in mind, and we remind each other when we meet. All engaged, you know, in this, in contributing, you know, very, very practically to the different tasks of running the community, as well as achieving, you know, the highest goals as a group consciousness. And this, of course, goes through self-improvement, self-reflectioning within the group field, with all the challenges and opportunity that this offers, you know, in terms of diversity of way of approach, rate topologies, phases of growth of each individual consciousness. So mainly what we try to shift is from a self-centered way of looking at things to give more space to the group purpose. So stepping back individually most of the times to see what is it needed as a group, what is the group vision, wisdom, what is to build a group love and use the creative intelligence, you know, into group expression, And this, as you may imagine, requires a lot of work on each one. And but we can see the beauty of what we can achieve every time we step back individually and we contribute to a greater purpose. And so learning to surrender the personality level and to positively respond to the call of the soul, I think it's the main key that is allowing us to build together and to offer the opportunity to other people as well to be part of the community. Either, you know, in many ways, just being friends of the community, coming to the gatherings, or taking part of the life of the community. So it's really free, even service. People can come for one day in the garden or in the kitchen, or come every week, or come and live there. You know? So it's really a beautiful opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Elisabetta. Thank you so much.
I don't know if it, I mean, there is so much to say, but I don't want to take too much time as well. But if there are questions, I will be happy also to answer. And then before we close, I also would like to say a few words about our community, the Himalayan community of living ethics, you know,
Yeah,
the initiative in India. Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave it as a cherry for on the top.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's another like extended part of what community is doing, and so
Yes.
that we definitely want to talk about that. I thought maybe now we could open the sharing and open the floor for people, because as you said, it's not just the community, it's the family, and friends of the community, and many people who've been some in one or another way connected with the community, visiting you or just meeting you somewhere, got that spark of that love that comes from the land of the community,
Yeah.
and staying with those people. So maybe people could share about their experience of community. What does it mean in their
Yes, it would be wonderful. Yes, if anybody from the community or other friends want to add and share, you know, because as I said before, you know, this is really creating the field of exchange between us. So I really would like also to hear from others.
And so the way how we usually do the exchange, that's everyone is now muted, even though we visualize that we're in a circle and we're all here equals, but for technical reasons we have to mute all of us, and only those who wants to speak I will unmute. So in order, if you want to speak or share, or like share something, please use the function of raising your hand. It's on your control panel. It's a button with the hand icon. So just press that and I will see that you want to speak and I will unmute you. And so far I saw there was one hand, and I will unmute Rosa Maria.
Elisabetta and friends, this was so beautiful, the way you exposed and the presentation of the pictures of the center. It is so amazing. My question is relating to the maintenance of the buildings and all these places that you have. How do you have the resources to do that?
Well, as I was saying before, since the beginning, everything is done on a volunteer work basis. So we go there for, you know, helping in the kitchen, we help with the gardens, and all the income from the courses go to the community. And so we pay everything through the incomes that we receive from the participants to the seminars and courses, but we receive also donations, and we received a lot of donations during the years, and this is still allowing us, you know, through our group effort and the donations to run the place. But there is a lot of volunteer work also that is done by many of us. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So we look forward to seeing you soon in Italy.
Yes. We need to Skype, Elisabetta.
We will. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Elisabetta, this is Angus at Findhorn.
Hello, how are you? So
Hi,
nice.
how lovely to hear you.
Yes, pleasure to have you here tonight.
It's lovely to join you.
Yeah.
And I've visited you 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And a strong impression is the maintenance of such a high quality, both in terms of individual, how can one say, soul embodiment, and how that is reflected in the beauty, as you say, beauty and simplicity of the surroundings and the buildings, but also in the work that's done. And it is so impressive to experience what you call the spiritual tension that is required in order to hold and maintain this. It is truly an inspiration.
Yes, thank you, thank you. It's really a joy to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
This is Malia, and I would like to know if there's a website or books or pamphlets or something so that I can continue to learn more about this beautiful community.
Yes, yes, I will show you at the end. We have a website that you can go, and we also have an email that you can write to receive information on the programs and everything. And I will put it on the screen at the end of our meeting. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm living right near London, Ontario, in Canada.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you.
Now unmuted Uta.
Hello.
Hello, Uta.
Hello.
Hello, Elisabetta. Thank you.
Hello.
Great picture that you painted, a synthetic picture of the community. And I would like to take this opportunity to share my gratitude and my joy of the cooperation, the many cooperations that you as a community are developing. And we in our little group in Israel have received so much support and inspiration and friendship from you, from so many of you in the community. It's really a weaving. You are like a leavening, how you say, in the yeast in the of the planet. And what the seeds that you are planting locally in Italy, you also through your generosity, through so much richness, you spread them all over the world. And we in Israel, in our little center, have so much, how you say, received from you, and this makes it possible, to participate in the growing world group. You are really a very bright star in the world group. Thank you so much, and it's a great joy that this 2025 initiative now has given also the opportunity. Thank you, Alexander, and everybody there for making the community of living ethics a little bit more shining a light out into the world. Thanks.
I'd like to thank you, Uta, as well, and the group in Israel. As I was saying before, we have these beautiful connections with so many groups, and we all learn all the time through our sharing. It is a work on consciousness, and so we enrich each other every time. So thank you, and thank you to all the friends in Israel. Yeah.
Elisabetta, I have a question. At the very beginning, you mentioned that
Yes.
The way how you see community, it's not so much as just like a physical building or even activities, but it's a state of mind, it's state of consciousness.
Of consciousness, yes.
Yeah, state of consciousness, and it's that's a direct quote from the Tibetan when he talks that the ashram is not a place, it's a state of consciousness. And
yes,
through all these years, you like through all your work, I think what you're doing, it's part of what we can call the process of externalization of the hierarchy and of the ashrams. And I always thought that somehow like we understand it a little bit too direct. What does it mean, externalization of the ashrams? And it's was big discovery for me when I read this quote at the Tibetan, that it's the state of consciousness. And so maybe you could share more about that. Like, how do you see that? What does it mean, this community is a state of consciousness?
Yeah, because as we know, we are normally used to think of places and groups, you know, as gatherings of people. But building a state of consciousness in group formation means also working toward establishing, you know, a group initiation, which is, we know the hierarchy is looking for. It's the capacity to really step back from the personality level and to create the conditions to establish the one soul that we are already part of, and make this soul consciousness be embodied in the everyday living through a group work. And this really makes a difference, because it's not only how much we study and how much we are in touch with the teaching and we understand the teachings, but how much are we able to embody it into a group formation, into practical life. Sometimes renouncing, you know, to our personal will, toward the creation of a common good, a wider common good, which is not just a community, but is like offering the community as a seed, as a model, and within the body of humanity for anchoring these laws and principles that Master defined of the kingdom of God. So this has been really the core for us, and every time also we have to make decisions. We open ourselves as a group to a new intuition for a new level of service that we can offer. We attune as a group consciousness, and so the shift is huge. You know, if we consider how the world is built upon individuality mainly. And in this case, what we try to do is to synthesize and to combine the individual with the group and perceive and act as a group consciousness, whatever we do. And I think this is really the richness of what we have learned among the years. And to bring it into form for us means to embody it into our mental, astral, and physical, but also through activities, through new models of life, which is another step. And this can be achieved if we are trying to identify as much as possible as one soul, as a group soul, because this brings a quality and an energy that you cannot find when you try to build on a personality level, whatever you want to build. I don't know if this answered your question.
Yeah, it's not the direct question. It's open question for all of us, and I would appreciate maybe if anyone else would like to share, maybe Uta or Angus or anyone in the audience. So I think it's very good question for all of us to ponder, especially under these energies of Aquarius. What is group consciousness? So if anyone has a sharing on that or any other topic or maybe question or comment, please. So I will unmute Lorraine.
Hi, good
Lorraine.
evening. Hi,
Hello,
Alexander.
hello,
Hi, Elisabetta. Hi.
good to hear you.
Well, it's been really good to hear you as well, and congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful sharing, because to answer Alexander's question, not fully, but to offer a perspective on it, group consciousness for me is evident in a number of ways, in partly just the sharing that you did tonight, Elisabetta, because the combination of the language, the pictures, the stories, the examples was so multidimensional and touched on so many different levels that for me that was an aspect of group consciousness, because although you're the voice for the community here tonight, and maybe it's because I've had the privilege of being a reasonably frequent visitor in the last few years, but everything you described was very very easy to connect with, very easy to touch and feel and sense and be with, and for me that's an aspect of the soul energy of the group at Città della Pieve and the community. Another thing I would say about my experience of group consciousness as the Community of Living Ethics live it and create it is that it feels very permeable, and by that I mean as a visitor, as someone who comes into the community from the outside. It can often be, in my experience of working with groups, there's often that sense of needing to make your way in, needing to find a way to belong, needing to find the rules in a sense, or the way in which it works. And clearly the community has its ways of working. But the thing that is the biggest difference for me and the biggest expression of a group consciousness is the way in which one can almost morph into the community, almost become another part of it, another molecule within the consciousness, and that's partly to do with the openness and the generosity and friendliness and you know, those sort of more human aspects. But for me, there's no doubt that it's about the group field that's being created and the genuine sense in which one can participate in that group field. And because it's operating at the level of soul and of consciousness and a higher vibration, it's not about personality or protocols or conventions. It's you genuinely connect at that space of consciousness. So for me, those are a couple of examples of how the Community of Living Ethics create it. In terms of, for us, outside of that particular grouping and more broad Aquarian group consciousness, I think there are a lot of lessons here that we can take forward. The willingness, the courage to look for new ways of creating the civilization in our own worlds, in our own immediate lives, closer to home, or with the groups that we work with in our own communities. Not looking to create stuckness or structures that have to be fixed, but allowing fluidity and emergence, inviting new things in as part of that group consciousness, as well as the obvious practices of leading from the soul rather than from the ego and the personality. Hopefully we're all focused on that anyway, but at the group consciousness level, I think it is about experimentation, openness, fluidity, allowing things to come into the field and be prepared to really explore and experiment and see what comes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lorraine. I think it's always also something connected with an attitude of, learning all the time, being able to learn and to change and to adapt and to shift and to let go and to move on. Yeah, which creates, this movement, this spiral where people can come in and out. Yes.
It does feel that way. Very easy, very easy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the gifts that you bring to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Christina, you muted yourself, so please unmute Christine Moore. I unmuted you. Okay, so when you just you can speak when you will figure out your microphone. And
Alexander?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
I'm calling from the United States, and I just want to express how full my heart is listening to this. It gives me such hope. I would like to add another dimension to this, however. I'm connected in the past to many groups, right now none, but what I'd like to say is that 2015 will certainly be a year of letting go, and also many structures that we globally have been attached to, like you in Italy are a well-known religious country, and what I see is you providing an alternative when that structure begins.
It's breaking.
Can you hear me?
Christine, your sound's a little bit breaking, like kind of going on and off.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm talking about again is that we are at a point religions around the world will begin to crumble. You are in a country that is known for its religious anchoring, and what I see here is this community will be a support system when that begins to fall apart. That's what gives me hope, that the people have a place.
I don't hear anything.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, like I can hear like on the background. So if you can like give your question, I could like repeat it. But so far, what I've heard that like you said like this, it's time of when the old religious foundations like falling apart, and so you're especially in Italy where religion traditionally been playing a big role. Places like your community can give a support. That's what we've heard so far, Christine. So what is your question?
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to add another dimension.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
What you're saying, that's what gives me hope, because you are a very high resonant community.
Yeah.
That is why we're here.
Yeah.
to each begin. I say my work is an inside job, so that's where I need to go to continually increase my vibration to be in a community like yours. So that's the work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
I will unmute. And Nancy?
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay. Well, first of all, a big thank you to Alexander for making this possible. And a huge thank you to our Elisabetta for presenting such a magnificent picture of the life that you're living there, the community and the consciousness and the beauty, which is such an incredible statement of where you are in consciousness. It's an amazing thing to see an outpicturing of the soul in action, as it were. I haven't yet had the privilege of visiting, but I have a lot of close connections with the community and know a lot about it, and I hope that one day I will have that privilege. I wanted to ask you, Elisabetta.
Yeah.
Elisabetta.
Yes.
A question about where you are as a group in terms of developing the kind of soul consciousnness that you're talking about, which is the goal of all of us in this time. If there's any universal goal that I think we have as disciples, it is to create outposts of soul consciousness. And I wanted to ask you, first of all, what percentage of the people in the community have lived there for a long time and are further along in embodying that soul consciousness versus new people who come and go? And second of all, what are the major challenges that you find that you face in making the shift from individual persona to group soul, group consciousness?
Well, regarding the first question, we have around here, living around the community, about 60 people who decided to change, in a way, also their life. Many of us moved from other cities. For instance, I just give you an example of myself. I was working as a manager with Alitalia for all my life, and at a certain point I just decided to leave the work and come to the community and use my time and energy in service to not just the community itself, but the community as a model of a new way of group work, of the embodiment of a cell of new life. So many people who committed to the community since the beginning moved here. Many left their professions where they were living before and moved here. And we also faced, moments where we were asking, for instance, to the founder of the community, many were making this question: I would like to come to the community, but you don't pay anybody in the community. How can I live? How can I make it possible, to come closer to the community? And at that time, even if it would seem to be difficult to accept, he would say, that what we were engaging was to work to found the beauty of service, the importance of service in life. And so the people who moved were only the ones who really decided to make a big shift and to change completely from their own individual interest, professional, whatever, into something wider. And now, after so many years, I realized the importance of not being paid for whatever we have done in the community, which I think it's also answered the second question. How do you perceive that you are soul connected? that where do you stand? And I think, you know, that service is one of the major aspects that are like, it's like the point where we can realize if we're ready also to shift and to change to something wider. And I think that after so long, it is still a very important opportunity, that of serving here in the community, because otherwise when we do work and we're paid for what we do inside groups, you know, we don't become so fully aware of what does it mean, you know, to find ways to support also in terms of material, giving our time and giving our work. I don't know if this answers your question in a way.
Yes, it does, in a way. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll let somebody else ask a question, but thank you so much. The spirit of the community that you convey is really something to behold, and I'm very, very grateful for being here today.
Yes, and I look forward to meet you, and you know, we will give our, you know, website and email address, you know, of our secretariat. So you're really welcome to come and share with us anytime. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Elisabetta, that we won't have enough time to share everything. But there's still like two questions which I'd like you to answer very quickly, because we need to kind of to move to meditation and wrap up soon. One important question asked by Melia Helsen. How does the leadership function in the community? So if you can just like very quick answer.
Mm-hmm. Well, since the passing the veil of our founder 6 years ago, we have shifted to a shared leadership, organized around the different circles or levels of responsibility and function within the community. So we have a board of trustees who hold the focus on the purpose and plan of the community. The strategies, the final decisions are taken from this group that is composed of 12 members, of which 5 have also an official guiding function connected you know, to the status of the community as an association. Then we have another circle, which is composed of 12 more people working as executive coordinators with the specific organizational functions. And so they coordinated specific areas of responsibility connected mainly with the running of the operations of the activity of the community. Others within these 12 are related to education, to culture, to research, to healing. And then we have another circle formed of all the co-workers engaged with specific functions within each area. So we have many sectors. And then there is another circle, which is what we call the Friends of the Community, that is composed of all the members who occasionally also participate to the service activities and the training courses, who are in a certain way approaching and willing to contribute to the overall community life, of course, according to their individual peculiar situation. They come when they can, you know. And the entire group meets also in plenary formation with, at Vesak and Scorpio twice a year, and with the aim of creating, what to say, 2 moments of synthesis for the group life and activities, and also occasions for launching new projects and new initiatives. And the decision-making process of course, follows the different steps, you know, and involves the different circles that I've said before. There are phases, for instance, in the work, which inputs and suggestions comes from all the co-workers and the responsible of the areas are collected and brought together, to the board. Or proposals are presented by, the board to the responsible areas and so on. Then usually follows a phase of analysis and feasibility to see, which is carried out through a united effort, by the board and the coordinators of the areas. And then a final decision is taken from the board. But after, plenty of considerations, from all those who are involved in the process. And also what we do is that a complete overview of the entire community structure and the functionality of the community also takes place every 3 years in order to, verify, eventually make adjustments in the organization of the life of the community, always with the aim of better responding to the pursuing of the community purpose. And presently, for instance, this year, we are engaged in one of these 3-year cycles of reviewing the entire structure of the community. So maybe next time we will speak, we will have another composition.
That would be lovely, that like if we could have a follow-up webinar on that, because I'm sure there are many themes and topics that you community could share with the bigger community. But the last question, which we said that we'll have this cherry on the top, and there actually already were 2 written questions about what was the mountain range on this picture, on this image. So can you just
yes,
very
I
briefly
just chose the 4 pictures, but this should need a full presentation by itself.
That should be another webinar. That I just realized.
Yeah, I think so.
But maybe just give us a teaser line for the future webinar.
Yeah. Well, it's the Himalayan Community of Living Ethics, which was founded in India in 2005 by the members of the Italian community in close cooperation with the Darjeeling Goodwill Animal Shelter in India. And this association comprises 2 centers in the eastern Himalayas of the West Bengal, just very close to the Kanchenjunga. You see the Kanchenjunga. This is the view from, Crookedy House. The aim of anchoring and spreading the living ethics, in the foothills of the Himalayan range. And so we have 2 centers. One is the International Center for Agni Yoga in Crookedy House in Kalimpong, which was the house where Helena Röhrig spent, this is the picture. She spent the last 2 years of her life. And Crookedy House provides the base for residential activities linked with the seminars and travel experiences. And so we also have accommodation for guests who want to, contact the energy of this place and who wish to live a community life based on meditation, study, and service, as we do in the community. And mainly is based on the study of the Agni Yoga teachings. And then we have the Darjeeling Goodwill Center, which carries out cultural and educational activities for the local population. And this is in Darjeeling. It's a couple of hours from Crookedy House. And there we organize the work together with Indian and international co-workers, and with also with NGOs. And this is the picture of the stupa where the ashes of Helena Röhrig were buried. But as I said, this would require much more, just a presentation itself. And also for this, I will send to Alexander the references, if you want to be in touch and you want to visit. Yes. Maybe you can send out an email with this
We'll include this contact information. This contact information will be on our Facebook page and on our archive page for this webinar. There will be